Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. I'm Matt Connarton, and as always, appropriately enough, to my right is the Honorable Gary S. Hopper.
Matt!
I missed you last week.
I love you, man.
Oh, thank you. I missed you last week.
Yes. Sir John of Heichel and his band of merry men came on.
Yeah.
Because I had I wish I remember the doctor's name because I should give him a plug. I had one dermatologist in Concord say that the skin next to my left eye looked like it might be cancer.
No kidding.
Yeah. So then my regular dermatologist said, well, you should have it biopsied. Mm-hmm. And my ophthalmologist said, I don't think so, but I know somebody who could do that. And so I went over to them. It was in Concord near the hospital, and I forget the doctor's name. But he looked at it and he says, no, it's not.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, well, the thing is the reason I wish I could remember his name because I'd like to give him a plug is because obviously it would have been perfectly logical for him to do it anyway, A, just in case, and B, to make money.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, we got to be safe. Instead, he said, no, it's not. I'm not wasting your time or the money to...
Yeah.
Which I thought was very honorable.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely...
That's why I had Mr. Sir John of Heichel scheduled, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to see it even drive here. So,
oh, okay, gotcha.
So I had him scheduled ahead of time. And a lady at church came out to me Sunday and says, oh, I loved your show this week. It was really one of the best ones. I go... Oh, well,
really?
I wasn't there.
That's funny.
Oh, maybe it was a week before, she said.
Yeah, good. You're thinking, good save.
Whatever. But no, John, I guess, had a good time. He and Gus. It was just him and Gus, or?
No, it was
Mark Warden.
Mark Warden and what's his Narby? Oh, Dave Narby.
Dave Narby. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, I guess they had fun.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad they did.
Yeah, we talked about Bitcoin and
Bitcoins.
That was very interesting.
Yes, I really trust Bitcoins.
You seem skeptical.
A little bit on the cynical side.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you can generate it with a computer, there's nothing to say that you can't generate a bunch more. Nothing. At a stroke of a keystroke, and you've got 10 times more than you had 20 seconds ago.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessary.
There's already been some hacking.
Oh yeah, of course there is.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got Kathy Souza, state rep from Manchester, who I've known since I first. Were you freshman when 2000 was my freshman?
2000, we were both
election.
on Fish and Game.
In 2001 it was our first year together on Fish and Game.
Right.
And but before I go into that, I wanted to comment a little bit on Obamacare, because this is just getting dumber and dumber as time goes on. I don't know if you heard the latest news, but obviously Obama, this is his prized possession, his key piece of legislation of all the years he's been the president. And the fact that they spent hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, I forget how much money, to get this website up and running, it never came through. It still is spotty at best. Just a week or so ago, they had testimony in Congress that it is very easily hacked. They had people that do that, are professional
like
security people, and four of them up there, and all of them said that they've already just tested the perimeter, because they can't really go inside without breaking the law, and they see so many, it's so porous that, it would be. I heard one guy last night say that if you put it on a rating, and Amazon.com being a 10. Obamacare would be a 1.
Really?
Okay, now that's the difference is, Amazon only has your credit card information. Obamacare is going to probably not only have your credit card information, your social security number, your health records, and everything else, and it's completely vulnerable.
Right, because it makes you, I've already been through it, it makes you put all that in. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You did it?
Yeah. I don't have health insurance right now.
And the other thing,
did you lose it because of Obamacare?
No, different circumstances in my case. That had nothing to do with that. So now I feel weird, like I didn't support the. I think we desperately need healthcare reform in this country, but I didn't support the way Obamacare does it. But now I feel weird criticizing it because I'm probably going to end up getting a policy through it. So it's like now I'm even more conflicted than I was before all this.
I think you should be inflicted too. So no, but the thing is, it's guys like you that are paying for everything else.
Right.
Okay? It's the fact that you take these young, first of all, it's kind of inappropriate to do it, but you're taking young people between the ages of, say, 18 to 35, when they really don't, especially men, really don't even need to see a doctor between those ages almost.
The young invincibles.
The young invincibles.
Yeah.
And yet they got to pay for maternity leave. They have to pay... And basically, they're footing the bill for all the people my age and older.
Well, yeah. If they even want to get in the pool, and I understand.
So anyway, when my point is, I'm bringing that out to make a point.
Yeah.
Is basically you have the group of people that is making the least amount of money, because that's the ages where you build up your experience and eventually get to a point where you're making a decent living. During that process, you're going to be burdened with all those insurance payments for people that probably are old enough to be able to afford them themselves.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the other thing is, too, and we were talking about this on my show earlier with Jim Rubens, we were talking about how something that hasn't been discussed a lot is one of the things with the mandate is, I mean, the mandate's been discussed a lot, but what I don't hear a lot of people pointing out is, why would anyone who doesn't think they need it just pay the fine? If the fine is only $94...
Is that for a year or a month?
It's for a year. If the fine is only $94, let's say, I'm not good at math, so I think in very round numbers. So let's say you can pay that $94, or you can get a plan for $100 a month. So that's $1,200 for the year. If you really don't think you need that plan, that $94 is nothing. You're still saving $1,100 by not getting the plan. Yeah. So why would any of these people feel compelled because of the mandate to get in when the penalty is negligible to what that insurance that they don't think they need is going to cost them anyway?
Right. Exactly.
So what's even the point of that, you know?
Yeah. But anyway, so the other shoe fell yesterday. I don't know if you heard this, but fundamentally they created this website so that people can apply and get on.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't even started the website or the infrastructure for payment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be like me starting an insurance company. We'll call it Obama Auto. Okay?
Yeah.
You have Obama Auto Insurance. It comes up with a website that you can log on and get your insurance badly. It's a badly made website with massive security leaks, so anybody in their right mind, probably, not that you're not in your right mind, but for auto insurance sake, wouldn't get involved in once they found out how much information they're putting at risk.
Yeah.
But once you get in, you get your Obama Auto. There is no mechanism whatsoever for a claim. If you get an offender bender and you go to your auto body place, they're going to look at your Obama Auto and says, I got nowhere to send the bill to.
Right.
I'm not fixing this.
Yeah.
And then Obama Auto says, this is the solution. Obama Auto says, no, don't worry. You just send us the bill, we'll pay it.
Right.
Really? So now the guy, you can get a $500 fender bender, and he can charge $10,000, and Obama Auto has no way of verifying if the work was done, what was done, or whether or not he did a good job of doing what he did.
Right.
There is no accountability. It's just insane.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
My experience with it thus far is I was able to put in all my information, and I got an insurance quote for a policy for bare bones $159 a month, but I can't look at it. Like, I can't go any further than that with the process. That's as far as I got, and then now I'm just stuck. And I was supposed to get some sort of email from them with further instructions or something.
So you
that
mean
hasn't come.
So you got this thing of basically you're going to get the stripped down auto, just AM FM.
Yeah.
And it's $150 a month, and you have no idea what's covered.
Oh, I can't even buy the policy. I haven't even gotten that far.
Have you sent the money yet?
No. I can't even get that far. I can't actually sign up for it. I can just be aware that it's available. That's as far. Now I'm just stuck.
So basically, you've gotten to the point where you've given them all the information anybody needs to steal your credit,
right,
and your credit reports, and get.
Well, they're welcome to it. That's not going to help anybody.
No, but
Trust
I mean,
me.
I know, but there's not.
You're in the equivalent of limbo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of comical.
Well, the good news though
is good news.
The good news is if the NSA needs any of that, they can just go to the Obamacare site and get it.
That's really good. That is helpful.
So that makes them easier, and that makes our government more efficient.
They don't have to go to the website. They intercepted that on the way to the website. They already know.
Well, see, so I save them even more time.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm helping government be efficient.
Thank you. Thank you for helping our government. That's the American way.
I do
You're
what I can,
very patriotic.
Gary. Thank you.
You should run for the State House.
Yes, you should.
I'm unelectable.
How are you unelectable?
I just told you I have bad credit.
You have bad credit?
I don't know. I do feel I'm unelectable, but that's probably a separate issue.
Well, you saw the article with Pete Sullivan, Representative Sullivan said about Marilynda Garcia.
That's true.
I mean, bad credit doesn't seem to be a variable. I mean, it can't be a variable if stuff like that's allowed to. You also remember, he's the same guy who insulted, what did he do? I don't think he insulted Al Baldessaro. He allowed somebody else to make some very rude comment.
Oh, I remember this now.
This is Al Baldessaro's at his wedding, which I was there. It was very nice.
Yeah.
But as a joke, they set up, you know how the stereotypical shotgun wedding?
Yeah.
John Burt set it up so that we could have all the ladies could have guns. So it was like a reverse shotgun wedding, like they were,
I do like that picture.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Representative Sullivan had some comment about it. I don't think it was that egregious, but his friends started commenting on the integrity of Al's bride.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. And it was just like, really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was so inappropriate, and
that should be off limits. Yeah.
Well, the thing is I know from having my own Facebook page, if somebody post something that's too over the top, I just delete it.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's exactly what he should have done, but that's not what he did do. So
yeah,
I like I said, I like Pete Sullivan.
Yeah.
I think he's a nice guy. We get along good. We work well together. But I think he's got to learn to not let his emotions dictate his behavior.
Got to rein it in a little there, Pete.
Anyway, Representative Souza.
Yes.
How are you, young lady?
Fine, thank you very much.
Is this your third time with us?
I think so.
Probably. I was here for the Tiny Tim episode.
Yeah, and she never wanted to come back after that.
Yes! Oh, come on, that was amazing. You got to admit.
It was.
No. You see the way she said yes it was? It was not like yes it was amazing as it was amazing that anybody would do that.
I do vividly recall the expression on your face the entire time.
She has a good reputation.
Right.
So she's trying to, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right, so we're here.
But you're one of the few people that's done this show that got elected after doing the show.
Oh, that's right. We're
Right?
usually the kiss of death. Yeah.
That's what Ross Terrio says.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what he said. He said the only reason he doesn't get elected is because he does this show ahead of time.
He's not a quick learner then. He does it every time.
Oh, you said it. We didn't.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
He'll still blame you.
Either that or he has faith in you.
No, that's something he doesn't have. But so anyway, you're here to talk about this next legislative session and what your devious plans are.
Mm-hmm. One of them involves your committee.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. And I would like to speak to it very briefly, even though we don't really agree on it.
We don't agree on something?
I know.
There's actually very few things we don't agree on.
I know. We agree on going to coffee. We agree on all kinds of things.
Yeah, we usually agreed on the food stuff, which I usually find an agreement with a lot of legislators.
Yeah. You both like food, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the
I agree with both
I've
of you.
got some bills in, constituent bills, and I've
No,
got,
well, let's talk about the one we disagree on, because that's more fun.
It is, but I won't dwell on it here because I respect the work you guys have done. As you know, in New Hampshire, a non-lawyer can represent someone in court.
I didn't know that, really?
Yes, you can. It's a constitutional right here that you can have counsel of your choice.
Okay.
So if I wanted Gary to represent me in court, I could say, Gary, would you please go to court and come speak for me? Okay?
Right.
But
After a little bit lacking.
talk about being trusting. Yes.
Right, yes.
So
Anyway.
and Ross is only going to put his election on it. I might be putting my whole future on it.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, so this is a constitutional right to have somebody of good character represent you. But the legislature interpreted that with a law that said that no person shall be permitted commonly to practice as an attorney unless he or she has been admitted to the bar. Okay. To practice commonly. Okay. No one knows what commonly means. So there's a landlord in town who has done a great job fixing up buildings, and he had to do a few evictions. Well, after he went and represented his LLC, which means he wasn't going pro se, he wasn't representing himself because he and his wife have these buildings in what's called a limited liability corporation.
Okay.
They had to do this to get the mortgage.
Okay.
So he and his wife have an LLC. So he went and he did the evictions he had to do to clean up the property when he took them over. And so he wasn't representing himself, he was representing an extension of himself. So he was able to go to court as long as he wasn't doing it commonly. But no one knew what commonly meant. So the particular judge in Manchester District Court said, oh, you've done 3 evictions, so that's commonly, you got to get a lawyer. The guy said, I can't afford a lawyer. Eviction is a simple process.
Yeah.
But you go to court, you wait, you get delayed. You have to go back to court, you have to get more paperwork. It cost him $1,000 to do a simple eviction.
Yeah.
But as long as he owns the property in Manchester, he's done. He has to hire a lawyer from now on.
Wow.
But the landlords in the other jurisdictions in the state have not had that problem. But no one knows what commonly means, and every judge is entitled to do it the way
To interpret
they
it
want.
however
the way they want.
Yeah.
They're entitled to it. It's sort of like in the Claremont education, we have to cherish education, and the courts interpreted that mean to pay for it. So anyway, so that was one of the constituents that came to me and said, can we do something about this word?
I thought we came through with.
You did to help him. So Gary's committee did great work, and they put an amendment on that said
So why do we disagree on it?
the other half.
Oh, she's getting
I'm going
to
for
it.
the whole loaf. But I'm grateful that you're going to help this guy, because the amendment that Gary's committee, the Judiciary Committee, worked on essentially says that if it's a small LLC, just a few people, and they all agree that one of them can go to court to do this eviction, they can do it.
Yeah.
So they skirted defining commonly.
Okay.
They just made an exception, but it does help this guy, and I'm really hoping that this passes.
Yeah.
But another time, I would like to introduce something, or maybe the Senate would see fit to fit the other half. If I want Gary to represent me in court, that's my right to ask to have you represent me. But a superior court in another county said, oh, you've represented Matt 3 times, or no, 5 times, and we take that to be commonly. So you can't represent me. And so it's a flip side. It's not that you have the right to represent me, but my right to have you represent me is being abridged. So the amendment that Gary and the committee worked so hard on doesn't affect my right to have.
That's
Gary.
because of all the testimony we had, there was really only one case where this was an issue in the state, and it was just with her constituent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there may be more people out
There
there.
could be.
Yeah.
But we're dealing, you don't, the problem with is that anytime you start changing statute, there's always collateral damage no matter which way you go.
Sure.
So if the only person that we know in the state who's actually having an issue is her constituent with one judge, it's not like all the judges.
No.
It's one specific judge. My thought on it was, and I asked the chairman, I says, why can't you talk to the Supreme Court and tell them to slap the guy around and stop doing that to this poor guy,
Right.
and get it over, handle it without legislation. And they didn't want to do that, which to me is the logical thing to do.
But see, Gary, it wasn't just my constituents. All the
Did
people
that just say
wanted
no
to have
caller on hold?
Yeah, somebody
Oh, okay.
called, but they didn't stay on the line.
I was going to say, why
But-
didn't you
But
give
anyway,
us a
that's
notice that there was no
that's,
caller?
that's one of my constituent bills.
Is that like
and
they're rubbing it in?
I know, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't get a caller again.
that was,
Every 5 minutes. Oh, 5 more minutes. You don't get a caller now either. Sorry.
so that was one of my constituent bills, and I appreciate the work the committee did. But it's
You want
not,
the whole enchilada. Is
Well,
that what you're
there
saying?
is
The whole
some-
loaf.
I'd like to, yes.
Yes,
We'll
yes,
see. But
yes.
I appreciate the work you did, Gary.
Okay.
And then I've got another constituent one, just to show you listeners that we do, your watchers, that we do things, and our constituents call us and they ask us to do something.
Speak for yourself. Go ahead.
There's another constituent that was helping some people. They bought these expensive condos up on the lake.
Yeah.
And after a dozen years,
What lake?
Winnipesaukee.
Okay.
After a dozen years or more, they got bills for condo fees. After a dozen years, they didn't know they were part of a condo association. It was nothing in their titles. Nothing in their titles.
Wait. How can you be?
Uh-huh.
How
They
can you?
hadn't
Wait. How can you, intellectually buy a condo and not understand that at some point you're going to have to pull your resources to pay to fix the roof, pay to fix this, pay to fix that?
Apparently, they were standalone, and so they bought them, but there was nothing in the title, and they never had any group approach them to do anything.
Are these separate units?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, after like a dozen years, they said, "Oh, we've revived the condo association papers." They hadn't filed with the Secretary of State or done any of the paperwork to keep them alive during that year. Then this group decided to revive it, and that apparently there had been a small group that had been part of an association. You can't have a voluntary one, and they've been part of this association. They've been paying the fees and everything, but all the paperwork had been moot for a dozen years or more. So we went to the law to find out how they could possibly demand payment for something that didn't exist when the people bought it.
Right.
And sure enough, in the law, there's a part, it's one of these funny wordings again, like commonly, nobody knows really what it means. Well, and in this one, somebody put in, not us, we weren't in the legislature when this happened, but somebody put in our law books that upon the filing of a certificate of revival, so somebody thinks that it's lapsed, they haven't filed with the Secretary of State all these years, they don't exist on paper, but upon filing for revival, the corporation shall be revived with the same force and effect as if its charter had not been forfeited. All contracts, acts, matters, things made and done, goes on to say, are fine, as though they'd never been forfeited. So therefore, the judge ruled that they went to court that they could collect all the back.
Wow.
That doesn't make any sense
Doesn't.
because if it's a contract, that means those people signed it. You can't be forced to be part of a corporation or a business
says-
unless you have signed it.
No, the judge ruled against. So we have a constituent bill in now to say that they can't be made to pay for something that wasn't enforced.
Yeah.
But someone put this in this way for God knows what purpose.
Well, it sounds like so that somebody could revise a corporation that, you know, like say somebody's...
oh, yes, absolutely, like New Hampshire Right to Life.
let's say Obama Auto, right? If it fell by the wayside because it was really badly run, they could revive it to its original corporate estate and then retool it without any penalties.
But
so it is logical, but that presumes that people... How can you make somebody...
That's what we're so we
I don't know that that's a legislative or a judicial. That sounds like something that
the courts interpreted this.
Yeah, but that's one court.
Right. So we'll be coming to your committee, I'm sure. Maybe municipal and county government, but maybe judiciary, because there's a glitch in the law that allows it to be interpreted that way. But
that is such a stretch.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, but we have constituent work cut out.
Yeah,
for
but
us.
you can't. I disagree that you necessarily.
We disagree too.
Wait. Let me finish. I disagree that you necessarily have to write a law every time a judge screws up, because that sounds like what happened.
It may be.
There'd be a lot of laws, a lot of new laws probably.
There is a lot of new laws, and it's for that very reason. You get one public entity that misinterprets something for
a lot of people
for their own sake or for the fact that they're smoked too much ganja before they sat on the bench.
Yeah, man.
Don't be rushing me, man. I've been smoking 20 bones a day.
And then I've got my bills that I know Gary's on board with.
Oh, okay, good. So we do agree on something.
Oh, of course we do.
Good.
This is a separate loaf.
We're going to try this year to get through the licensing of abortion clinics. There is no licensing in this state. And a lot of people are unaware of that. They don't need a license for anything.
Now, you need a license if you have... Don't you need a license if an ophthalmologist office would need one?
A tattoo parlor needs one. You have to be inspected. You have to have health and safety standards. A barbershop has to have one. Everybody's licensed, but not abortion clinics.
Like nothing? There's nothing?
There is nothing.
Really?
And
that is surprising.
A lot of people didn't realize that until the front page article in the Union Leader, when the Gosnell House of Horrors in Philadelphia came to light, where he's in jail now because he not only was convicted of the deaths of full-term babies born alive, but a woman, a mother. And there may have been others, but he was actually convicted of those, and he's in jail.
Yeah, wasn't that a lower income neighborhood, and so it was almost like looked over?
It was looked over, but people had been complaining about it for a long time, and the city was not enforcing their licensing. Because when you license, you have inspections, you have safety, you have codes, you have building, you have all kinds, plus your personnel.
Fire codes and everything else.
So we've tried to get these clinics licensed before, and we have gone now to the Commissioner of Health and Human Services, Commissioner Toompas, and he has acknowledged in writing, yes, there are no licenses, absolutely nothing.
Okay.
And so we have now put a bill in to have them licensed, and we went to the licensing protocols of birthing centers, renal dialysis centers, ambulatory, walk-in medical clinics, and we looked, just to get an idea, and there are some 20 pages of regulations for these people.
Right.
So we figured, well, this is probably going to be protested, this licensing, because right now Planned Parenthood on Pennacook Street has free reign. Just bring them in, take them out. So we made it very simple. It's just like 3 pages, and it's just the basic things that you need for health and safety of the woman, and other
like things like there should be a full-time nurse there and things like that.
Well, requirements that a medical professional has to stay there until the last aborted woman leaves the premises, things like that. Things about...
last aborted woman?
Well, a woman who's had an abortion
'Cause that's really weird.
If she's lying there, you want somebody to be on the
I'm sorry,
on the premise.
I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't make jokes about that.
Safeguard so that if the baby is born alive, that it won't be just thrown in the bucket. That
Right.
it will be
Maintain-
transferred to a
take care of,
hospital.
yeah.
That there will be ways for a woman or a born alive child to get to a hospital. That somebody will be on call. That there will be some follow up. We've had women tell us that they have called an abortion clinic hours after. There's nobody there to even talk to them if
they need
they're
counseling.
bleeding. If
Right.
they're bleeding.
Okay.
And so, very, very common sense. And also that they'll have to have the sonogram equipment there if a woman wants to see her child, because oftentimes a woman wishes she had known more, and so.
Well, I know we've had bills to require a sonogram prior to.
Yeah, no, but this just
that-
says that
those never-
it will be
those-
available. Yeah, it will be available, and so this is a very common sense bill. These are just the definitions, but that the commissioner will adopt the rules. He'll make the rules and he'll adopt the rules, but this tells what he has to have. Require ultrasound equipment in all abortion clinics. Require all equipment is safe for the patient and staff, meets federal standards, and is checked annually. Then that they have to have a medical director. Some don't even have a doctor.
Oh, really?
You're right. The one on Pennacook Street right now, we're told, has a nurse practitioner. A couple of months ago, they had a doctor from Maine. We call them circuit riders. They just go from state to state doing abortions. And so it's got some very,
So you
very...
mean this is they don't even, their abortions are not even performed by doctors?
They don't have to be in the state.
Wow. That's this is all very surprising to me, actually.
And then it requires that they have to do things like take medical histories, things that are just very, very common sense, but
Right.
there's no requirement now. So we don't know what they're doing or when they're doing it, if at all. And so they have to just do like 3 pages of common sense precautions. And we're hoping that this bill will get accepted. And when the union leader broke the story about the Gosnell Clinic in Philadelphia, the different abortion providers were saying, oh, well, we would never do that, so of course we don't object to licensing. So we have those quotes, and I'm hoping that when we come before the committee, that
You're hoping in vain, honey.
that they will keep the word that they were so loudly proclaiming.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen, Kathy.
We have all their quotes saying,
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, but it's. I mean, the fact that there has never been any regulation, any licensing, anything shows how extreme the extremely pro-choice the New Hampshire legislature is.
oh, it is, yes. But after the horror show of the Gosnell Clinic was exposed, I'm hoping that this will bring.
Well, the thing
home-
is, it's like the thing is, what you're saying only makes sense. But you take somebody like Matt, who's, pretty much compared to me at least, on the liberal side,
Compared to you.
compared to me, is completely astounded that there are no regulations at all.
Right.
And the fact that it's been that way forever tells you something.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
I am genuinely very
Right.
surprised by this.
I mean, it's like
really am.
it's like when we first got together back in the day, so to speak. I think the first term, I don't remember if I was a co-sponsor or not on the first term for parental notification.
You probably were. You're a good guy.
And well, yeah, but my point is, we had a super majority, and we couldn't get it through in 2001 or 2.
It took many tries to get that.
It took
through.
it until 2003,
Yes.
when Benson was governor, and he actually came and advocated for it.
He did.
yeah.
Okay, but
And then they repealed it.
if you talk to anybody on the street, okay, if you go, I'm willing to bet if you walked along Elm Street and asked 100 random people, do you believe that the parents of a child should be notified before they got an abortion? You know, except in extreme cases. Do you support legislation? I bet you, 9 out of 10 would say
sure.
yes.
It's just common sense.
They do. Even UNH did some polls,
Yeah.
and yes, we had the public with us, absolutely.
I mean, because I agree. I mean, I'm solidly pro-choice, and I absolutely agree with parental notification. I mean,
but it did not get through.
That's amazing.
No, it didn't. But then it did. But then it got repealed.
No, well then,
Shaheen signed the repeal.
I know. No.
Yes, she signed the repeal and gave the pen to Narelle.
No kidding.
No, she did. Yes, it was an evil act as far as I'm concerned. But then we passed it again.
Well, no. The first thing we passed it, and then the pro-choice people took it to court, so it never really went into effect.
But it was in.
And then, as soon as the Democrats took control of the House,
right?
Because last term,
right, Shaheen repealed it.
Last term, it was when we were doing a bunch of things, and the first things out of the Democrats' mouth was, "Look at those crazy Republicans with the budget is in such bad shape, and all they can talk about are all these social issues." Well, the fact of the matter is that I think it was 2006 when the Democrats took control of the House. Within like a month. It was right around a month. I could be wrong on that because it's too long ago. But it's very, very quickly they had the repeal of parental notification all the way through the legislature.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. But then Shaheen signed it, gave the pen to Narelle. But then we passed it again.
In 2010. 11, I mean.
But the governor vetoed it, remember? And we had to override the veto.
We override the veto,
Oh, yes, we did. We override Lynch's veto. So it's been safe.
So it's in place now.
It's in place, yes. But Lynch vetoed it, and we overrode the veto. And so now we do have notification. And it is making a difference. When you go down to Pennacook Street, you don't see the young girls coming in with their boyfriends.
Yeah.
You just don't see that. You might see a young girl coming in with a parent.
Right,
So
right.
that's their notification, but you don't see them coming in, being pushed in by a boyfriend or driven in by a boyfriend. That is something that has decreased, and especially the out-of-state ones, because now Massachusetts has no reason for the young girls to come up here.
Yeah, because even Massachusetts, as liberal as it is
Right.
has had parental notification for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, parents want it.
Of course
they do. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I've always said too. I mean, if the school nurse wants to give a kid an asprin, it's like they have to get parental permission and triplicate just to do that. But so it doesn't make sense that your kid can go have an abortion and you're not supposed to know anything about it. It doesn't make sense.
And there's another bill that I know Gary is with me on too. It's termination statistics. Right now, we don't know how many abortions are done in New Hampshire. And someone will say, well, why is that important? Well, it's not important just for us, but it's important nationally. The Centers for Disease Control laments in their report every year that they don't know anything about New Hampshire.
Interesting.
And they would like to reduce the unwanted pregnancies on a nationwide health basis. And in New Hampshire, we would like not just, have fewer girls pregnant, but we would like to be able to help the ones that are. And we have no idea who's doing them, where they're being done, by whom they're being done, because there's no licensing of the places for one thing,
right.
And they can be done by a lot of different people for another. And if we knew where the abortions were being done, like say there's a town up in one of the faraway counties, Grafton, or one of those counties, that there's a higher rate of young girls having abortions than you would expect. We could get more outreach up there.
Right.
We could send counselors up there. We could have birthrights or crisis pregnancy centers up there to offer help to these girls, because girls being offered help oftentimes will take it. We know for a fact, because right down here at Pennacook Street, we often can, well, maybe it's just once a month or once every couple of weeks, but that's a life saved and a woman saved from a lifetime of regret. So if we could have some information, like the demographics, we don't need to know names. We don't have to know much of anything. We just have to know are they being done where?
Right.
What age group is
Yeah,
being
that
done
would
with?
that would be really good. So
just the data,
we
yeah.
have a bill in, and it's just asked for statistical information, and we're leaving it up to the Commission of Health, Education, and Welfare as to whether it should be by city and town or by county, because you have to be very respectful of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And if it looked like by having it by town, it could give away someone. If there's a small
okay.
number of young women in the town,
Sure.
then he'd have the prerogative to do it by county. But we really think it would be helpful. And the pro-abortion people have always railed against this. And it makes no sense. The people that are really pro-abortion say, oh, but we want it to be safe and rare. Well, how can you make it rare if you don't know where and when it's happening? So I think this is a very common sense bill, and I'm hoping that we'll get it passed this year.
By the way, I just want to state for the record, I'm pro-choice. I'm not pro-abortion. I need to say that out loud.
And
because.
Would you mind if I use a prop?
I don't care if you use a prop. It's not the you're not in the will.
Okay. Well, this is an advertisement for the new Crisis Pregnancy Center right around the corner from the abortion clinic. Planned Parenthood's abortion clinic on Pennacook Street is within view of the new Crisis Pregnancy Center. And so when we talk to young ladies going in, asking if we ask if we could speak to them, and oftentimes, like yesterday, a young lady came over and spoke to me. And I said, if you just look at the green building around the corner on Chestnut Street, there's a crisis pregnancy there. There's somebody that will help you, somebody that will get you hooked up to the help you need, somebody that will provide not just a pregnancy test, but if you are pregnant, a sonogram, so you can see what you have got inside. And I said, would you like the phone number if you want to think about it and not go around the corner now? And so we gave her one of these little cut-off pieces with a phone number. And so I'd just kind of like to put a plug in for the Pennacook Pregnancy Center, because it's all volunteers. People are just there to help. The St. Anselm students have delivered a big box of baby clothes, brand new. Other people have donated money. It's going to be a good thing for that neighborhood, because we don't have to say, oh, well, we have across the river we have a place, or in Concord we have a place. We say, look around the corner of that green building. There's a crisis pregnancy right there. No charge, willing to help.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me use my prop.
Is there? Are you not?
Ringing?
I don't know what that tone is. I'd never heard that before. Are you not allowed, like when you're at the State House? Are you not allowed to bring?
That's true.
Props? Really?
No, not if you're up. If you're speaking in the well, you're not allowed to use props.
Oh, no kidding. Not even like you can't hold something like that up.
You're not really even supposed to have like a, what was it? What did we just vote on against actually? Expansion of Medicaid or?
Oh yes, well, we had the Medicaid vote. That was that long day.
Right. But anyway, people who were pro expanding Medicaid had these like stickers.
Oh yes, they did. They had stickers on it.
And then you're really not even supposed to do that when you go up to the well. You can do
kidding.
yeah.
Interesting.
Huh. Where didn't you see? Well, I got gavelled out of order once my first time up there. Gene Chandler was the speaker, and we had a bill that we would like to have an alternative license plate. People would pay $35 more. So it'd be like the Moose plate.
Oh, okay.
But it's the Choose Life. It's a pro-adoption. It's a Choose Life license plate. It's bright yellow. Other states have it. It's kind of boilerplate now. It's bright yellow, and it's got a caricature of a little girl and a little boy, and it says Choose Life.
Yeah.
And I was putting a bill in asking the legislature to approve it because the license plate has to be approved.
Sure.
And so I held up my bright yellow license plate, and then bang, bang, bang.
Oh, no kidding. Oops.
Yep. She's been in trouble ever since.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But there is a rep that wants to introduce that bill again. Not this year. Wants to wait next year and introduce it.
Are there other alternative license plates, or would this be the first one?
No.
We have the Moose plate.
We have the Moose plate. Then we
have
had
Purple Heart. Do we have?
I think we have Purple Heart, and then the one that we have the Veterans one.
Yeah.
And then I'm forgetting his name. state legislator. He was a state senator from Peterborough. His I think his dad was governor. Peterson. Was that his name? I'm really.
We did have a governor, Peterson.
Yeah, I know, but his
Walter
son.
Peterson, yeah.
His son was in the legislature,
Oh.
and he got through a bill for.
I still don't know what that tone is.
Is someone trying to call?
Is there ringing in
No,
my head?
no.
Are these voices in my head ever bother you, by the way?
No, as long as they say nice things. It's kind of weird that I can hear them, though.
Yeah, it is a little strange, but
I think we're telepathic.
yeah, or telepathic or something. Yeah.
yeah.
But he had a environmental plate. We have, I forget what you call it. It's not called an environmental plate. It's supposed to help the
L-chip?
parks and stuff like
okay.
that.
Oh, okay. Huh.
But
there's
that's
a bunch
I
of them
think
then.
I
That's
think they're going to
interesting.
cancel that one because nobody's buying
A
them.
wilderness plate or something, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But
Right.
he Andy Peterson. Yeah,
Oh.
he's the one who got that through, and it's really his. I know that the legislature typically balks at new license plates only
Really?
by virtue of the fact that we don't want to end up like Florida that has so many cotton picking license plates. It's ridiculous. You don't even
Yeah.
know they're from Florida anymore.
Right, right.
You know, and I'm kind of less eager about new license plates as time goes on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it will be introduced. And the nice thing about it is you never know who's going to be behind you in traffic and see that. And it just makes people think.
Yeah, but the thing is you have to look at it both ways, because if that's true, then they're gonna want a pro-choice.
It's possible.
It is likely.
I mean, that is so horrible, the thought of advocating the
you,
killing of a child.
I
That's
know
horrible.
to you it is,
It's possible.
but I bet that one's more likely to get through than the pro-life one.
I can see that. Yeah.
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 Well, maybe that's why this representative is waiting until next term when there's another election.
The possibility of
hoping
actual
for
success.
Hoping for more pro-life legislators in
Yeah,
in
the
Concord.
pro-life cause is not a easy one to fight for in New Hampshire. Kathy Souza and her. I was hoping your accomplice Barbara was going to be here.
Barbara would like to have been here, but she couldn't, and she is already thinking of a bill. Maybe you'd put it in for her. You do constituent service.
She's not my constituent.
Oh, the
Well, yeah, but it's too late for that.
She
but-
went to register a deed in Nashua the other day,
Yeah.
and they asked her for $25 that she wasn't expecting to pay for L-chip. And then they told her, oh, but this is only the first. When your mortgage company registers it again, that you're still going to have to pay another $25 for L-chip. So she called me up and said, what am I paying $50 for L-chip for? And I said, that does seem like a lot. I mean,
Well, the thing is, what's
that does
worse
seem
than
like a
that
lot.
is that the banks. Okay, my mother's house was foreclosed on because she's gone, and it was a reverse mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
And that was owned by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo just sold it to Fannie Mae. I am willing to bet Fannie Mae did not pay to have that title changed.
Really? They don't have to contribute to L-chip?
I don't know. I'm curious to know because I know that it changed hands because it was Wells Fargo, and now on the thing it says Fannie Mae. So somebody bought that mortgage. If that mortgage changed, I don't know enough about it, but I believe the title has to be changed, and therefore there should be a title. So, why didn't,
No, you have to look into that, yeah. But so
So
Barbara
why
is-
can the big banks get away with not?
I don't know.
They can
but
get away with
Barbara
anything.
was very concerned. I mean, $50 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, maybe people that are buying a $2 million house don't
Maybe she should run for office again.
and put the bill
so
in
that-
herself.
No, maybe she should run for office again so she can make that $100 a year.
Oh, I
There you
see.
go. That'll offset the cost.
It'll
Yeah.
offset the
There you go.
Right?
And if she buys an economical enough car, the gas might be covered by the mileage.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly. Motorcycle. Do what I do. Ride a
Harry-
motorcycle.
My gosh, you've got all the answers.
I know. I am a genius, right, Matt?
Yes. I say that all the time.
I thought it was just me.
No, well, maybe not all the time. I think I've said it. I might
You
have
can't
said
say
it.
it all the time because that would mean you were only
can't
saying
actually
that
remember a
because then you
specific
couldn't like
instance.
order even a salad at the restaurant. 'Cause
I think that's what it was. I was ordering a salad. I said, "Oh, that Gary's a genius."
And they didn't know you wanted a salad because that's all you say.
Right.
You say it all the time.
Yeah, it was very confusing. It was
It
hard to
is.
get my salad.
In fact, our conversation would be impossible if you actually said it all the time.
I know.
You know, this
It's
brings
pretty
up
deep.
a bigger,
It's a deep show,
this-
don't you think, Kat?
very deep. Well, I'll sink. But this brings up a bigger philosophical question.
Of course it would.
And
We are almost out of time.
Quite- quite
so you
the
know.
constitutional groups are very concerned with. At what point do we have the right to say that you should give $50 for the preservation of another town's records when you're registering your house? What does this have to do with it? I mean, there is a constitutional question here that
Right,
you know,
right.
is very interesting.
Taxation without being representation and all kinds of other things are involved in that. But we don't really have time to go into it. Plus, I don't know what I'm talking about. And next week we have Pam Tucker
Okay. Yeah.
is coming on with her friend, and I don't have a clue what we're talking about.
All right.
And then on the 18th is our last show before the Christmas holiday.
Okay. Yeah.
And we have Pastor Bob McKinney.
Oh, he is coming. Good.
And
Good.
Santa
I like
Claus.
him. Excellent.
And
I like
Santa
them
Claus.
both. Yes. Excellent.
And we got to go.
All right.
Kathy Souza, you're an awesome legislator and a good friend, and thank you very much for all you do.
thank
Thanks,
you
Kathy.
and thank
You
you,
rebel.
Matt.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.